Okay, now on to one of my favorite it's my favorite another one of my favorite superheroes, in which he's a vampire. He's a hybrid. He's part human, part vampire, and that's that's Blade. Blade is also Halloween centric, due to the fact that he's a vampire. The movies deal with vampires. Um, this movie, yeah, I like this one. This one, I had seen some YouTube videos that the production behind Blade 3 Trinity was atrocious. I heard there was some beef. I heard there was some beef going on between Wesley Snipes, the producer, the director. I heard there was even some. I heard it was even some. I heard it was word that there was some beef going on between Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds, because this was because a lot of us, this was my introduction to Ryan Reynolds long before he became Deadpool, about 10, 11 years later after this movie came out. This movie came out in late. I remember this movie came out back in 2000, December 2004, the year I graduated. Um, yeah, I was really excited about it. The first Blade, uh, this one is good, but it's definitely not better than one and two. Blades one and two are without a shadow of a doubt the best ones. My personal favorite is easily Blade two. Blade Blade in my opinion, Blade two is the best one out of all three of these movies. While the first one being my second favorite, this one here was like the least favorite, even though it's still it's still enjoyable enough. It does have some flaws. This movie seriously has some flaws in it for sure. Um, yeah, I heard there's word that Wesley Snipes is supposed to be returning again as a Blade in the upcoming Avengers 5 Doomsday, after he reprised the role last year in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie last year. Um, because a lot of us know, like, man, there will never nobody can no I mean nobody can't play Blade like Wesley Snipes can. Blade embodies the character, just like how Robert Downey Jr. embodies Iron Man, even though he's about to come back as a totally different character, as a villain, Doctor Doom. But we'll see how that goes. Um, Same way I feel about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Nobody can I think no I can't see nobody playing that role better than Hugh Jackman being Wolverine. So so like when I reviewed the first two Blade movies, I mentioned that same thing. Nobody, man, Wesley made Blade. He made the Blade character his own. He really did. He's much older now, but they can always do like um like in Logan, Wolverine 3, which is called Logan. Where Wolverine gets very, very old. Ends up having adamantium poisoning in his body. So his healing factor power, was slowing down. So due to that, he got very old. So if they were to make I really wish they would make a Blade 4, because like they could easily do a Rambo 5 Last Blood Logan style type of Blade for Blade 4, where they could do like like an old man Blade story or whatever like that. But this movie definitely has it's got some good action scenes though. Ryan Reynolds' character is a trip. You got Jessica Biel, who a year before this came out, she played in my favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I remember she played in that show Seventh Heaven back in the day. Um, yeah. in some ways, I feel like Blade was kind of of a side supporting character in this movie, but but he was still front and center enough. And then you also had Triple H, wrestler Triple H. When he was younger back in the day, he was also in this movie. They go they go up against Dracula, or they just call him Drake for short. Um, and the actor that played Dracula in this movie, he was okay. He wasn't all that. Uh, he really wasn't that menacing to me. Compared to Deacon Frost back in Blade One, and then the other guy, that super Reaper vampire, Nomak in Blade Two, I think Nomak was the best Blade villain in Blade Two, because shit that dude gave Blade the business in Blade Two, especially at the end. Because in this movie because in this movie Dracula and Blade, they just pretty much just have a sword fight toward the very end. And Blade has a lot of he has a lot of good one liners in this movie, especially when he meets them. But overall, it's a average good it is an average movie. Not as good as the first two, but it's still entertaining action flick.